I'm Darren Nichols. Today I'm joined by Anthony, Eric and Henoch. So guys, what have you been up to?
It's been a while since last recording, and I missed episode 2. So
Why did you miss episode?
Because I died, apparently. No, it was Andy's 30th, so we were hungover. It was a mess, to be honest. So yeah, that's the truth. So over the past couple of weeks, apart from obviously boring stuff like work, I was quite ill, but it also gave me the time to catch up on a couple of games. So Diablo 3 was my game of choice on the Xbox One. I've probably put about 10 to 20 hours into it, and I'm not even past Act 1, and there's 5 acts within it. So it's going to take a little while to finish, I think. The other one I was playing was Volgar the Viking, which is, again, it's an old school platformer, very brutal, and you're playing a Viking trying to hack people apart. It's incredibly difficult. So I think maybe we'll have a go on that later and show you how difficult that one is.
No, I can't wait.
And obviously being a little bit ill, we've signed up to Amazon Prime recently, which we'll touch on that later, I think. But been watching a new TV series called Bosch.
Oh, nice.
So it's a detective program set in LA. It was based on a series of books, so it's based on 3 books within that series, and really, 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 really good. I love those kind of detective shows. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Cool. But definitely recommendation is Bosch. Yeah.
Good
stuff. Myself is, the typical thing. Work. Nothing new. And I've been trying to catch up, with The Walking Dead. And I'm far behind, but series 3. Wow. Yeah, that's for the prison. I've been shocked. I was like, wow, that's cool. And obviously trying to catch up on Gotham. Yeah, enough said.
Every time.
It's not that bad. Anyway, but apart from that, nothing new. I should have gone before you,
I had 3 weeks to catch up on it.
I've started watching Gotham now, because I watched the first episode, and obviously I slated it here, and Eric keeps on going on and on and on about it. So I thought, well, I'll give it a chance.
Still not like
Still can't get into it. I'll watch it to the end of the series. I'll make a decision, but it's not catching.
It's like a lot of shows, but where the first season it takes like 4 or 5 episodes before it gets going. Like Agents of Shield, whatever.
Agents of Shield, that took a series.
I got bored after 4 episodes.
Exactly the same. I started watching it, but all the reviews after that have been pretty spectacular.
So changed around.
It's okay. It's okay.
Have you been watching it?
Yeah. It's okay. It's very similar to another one I've been watching, which is called The 100. Has anyone?
I saw the first 2 episodes.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's the way it's acted, and the cast are all supposed to be these young people that have been spoiler alert. That have been put onto the planet Earth. It's basically based in a space station. So these young people go, and they are young, and the acting's
but
young.
the pre-story is the fact that Earth, there was a big, I can't remember what nuclear war. Then the privileged went up into space. They've lived in space for X amount of years. I don't know, I think it's about like 100 years, and then they go back to Earth. And they do that. They send them as punishment and also as an experiment,
because the space station was dying, so they needed
to experiment and see if they were to survive, and then they send them down back to Earth. It's a bit like Lord of the Flies, though. When first few episodes, it's like, okay, it's they're kids, they're trying to survive. How they're doing. So
I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I find that similar to the other programs that we talked about, like Agents of Shield, that it's almost acted and scripted quite childlike, but it's got adult themes. So there's sex, there's violence, there's murder, there's all that kind of stuff, and it's quite graphic. But I still feel watching it like it's an episode of Neighbours or something like that. Just in the way it's acted. It's weird. It is quite weird. I suppose maybe it's me. I'm getting old. Or you're used to.
Well, you grew up in Smallville, didn't you? So.
Yeah, but maybe it's now that I'm used to kind of more gritty dramas like Game of Thrones and Fortitude and these kind of things that I've been watching. So maybe that has kind of made me think, well, actually, it needs to be a bit more gritty rather than a bit more fun.
Yeah.
But you're seeing series where they're still trying to find themselves, and then you do find, that there are glimpses of, like a little bit of grit into it. For example, so I'm bringing Gotham back into it, but no, it's the reason why.
Come on, mate.
Well, that's the only thing I've been watching. So talk about what you know. And but there are scenes where I'm like, well, there's blatant murder. And first time they came up with Gotham, I thought it was like family based, really all nice and cheerful. And then now, and I believe that's why some of this first series, I think that's why we say, oh yeah, remember this, it's not that good. Because I really think writers are still trying to find what catches the hook.
I think that has to happen with something like Gotham, though, because based on the history of Gotham and the whole point of having there being a Batman was because this city was on the brink of destroying itself because of crime and corruption.
Yeah.
So I think you can't have something that's kind of light and bubbly and fun because it needs to portray that dark side. Otherwise, it's not Gotham. Right?
But then I know what you're saying about like slow starters, but you were just talking about like the history of Gotham. You've got obviously like decades worth of history of Batman and even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
You've got a whole wide universe. So why is it taking them so long to get into a stride when they've got so much history?
Yeah.
You've seen so many of these films and programs before. Whereas something like Banshee, season 1 and 2, straight into
epic.
it. Yeah. Brilliant.
The thing is with that is because Banshee hasn't got source material. So we don't know if it's taken a while to get into its stride. We get into it because there's no point of reference with Banshee. You're not going, do you know what? Banshee, the comics were like this, so therefore it should be dark, or it should be this, it should be that. Because we've seen so much of Gotham in TV, movies.
Yeah, but it's the same with Walking Dead, though. The Walking Dead is the same thing. It's a comic, but you don't relate it to it because you just see it as its own entity.
There's a difference. Sorry, that whiskey was strong. there is a difference when it comes to something like Walking Dead, which is obviously a zombie apocalypse based thing, so it has to be dark, it has to be gritty. Whereas Gotham is aiming at an audience, which is the prime time. I know it's on Monday. Is it Mondays in this country? But you could see it being that kind of prime time, 8:00 Saturday night kind of slot. So it's looking at a family audience. It's not really.
Yeah, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like that, and from what I understand, because I didn't watch past episode 4, but I've kept up to date with it, is that the formula changed and they tried to make it relate more to adults. Because if you are talking about prime time, 8 till 9 in the States, you still need, just because it's prime time, it doesn't mean it needs to be kind of kiddified or protected kind of thing. So I don't know, it just hasn't, even all the reviews throughout the season haven't been particularly well received for Gotham, and it's like it's taken them a while to find that. Forgetting about the history, but just the way that they're putting content together and advertising it to everyone doesn't seem to be catching on at all.
Well, I think what they should do is actually with Gotham is actually forget the main criminals. Forget the Joker and Riddler. Really good.
It's crime ridden, right? The entire place. So you
Whereas
do whatever you
already.
want.
As you said, those ones. Last week they introduced a new character, who will be Scarecrow.
Yeah,
and you're thinking, come on, man.
Well,
are they just too loose?
It's just that it's ramming too much of the Gotham that we know down our throat. And I've said this on previous podcasts. You don't need Riddler doing the whole riddle me this. You don't need to see Penguin. You don't need to see Scarecrow.
Or you hear the Joker laugh when the
Toymaker was there as well.
Yeah. There's so many you could see. But then I enjoyed the other bits of Gotham where it was non-characters that we recognise, and it goes a little bit detective, and then you enjoy the characters, and you go
characters like Fish Mooney, who's like working under Falcone.
Oh right, yeah.
And she wasn't in any of the comics or any other things. And she's a good character, a great character.
She's
And
really cool,
why can't they just go down that route? Why do we have to have Poison Ivy? Why do we have to have Catwoman?
Yeah, it's a freak of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken about it enough, so I think I will end up watching it. But
thanks for tuning into the Gotham show. So head up, what have you been up to?
Well, I've had a quite a few weeks. Work as usual. I've been watching a lot of YouTubing, not myself, so just to get into the whole Marvel world. So we talked about that earlier on, so it's quite good. And I've been playing Assassin's Creed 4.
Oh, really?
The first time,
Nice.
and it's
Nice.
brilliant. Really enjoying it.
I've got all of them, never played them.
Yeah, same here. I never played them. I've always wanted to, so I thought I just picked one out random.
I've got
I've
Black
enjoyed
Flag
it.
and I've not watched. I've not played that yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
so,
still got that as well.
so that's been keeping busy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've moved house, hence the different setting and the lack of ambulances
Yeah.
going past.
Wonderful
the lovely textured wallpaper in the background. So for me, it was kind of getting everything connected again. So I had getting some internet, and since then, my God, have I binged. I did have a period where we moved in, and I had no internet connection, so I just went through my DVD collection. I watched Commando, Blade Runner.
Nice.
What else did I watch? The Crow.
Oh yeah.
And a couple of other things. So I just kind of went through Die Hard with a Vengeance. As he says. So I watched Die Hard 2 and Die Hard with a Vengeance. So yeah, I was kind of scraping the barrel of things to do. So I was kind of hitting back onto the DVD collection. But since then, it's been catch up. So trying to get all the stuff on demand that I've missed. So catching up with Fortitude, catching up with Walking Dead, catching up with The Following, which is back on now. We've talked about.
Oh yeah, I saw that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Really, really
so those are the kind of big things, and obviously the big thing for us, we talked about it beforehand, was the finale of The Walking Dead this week, which...
spoiler free, please.
No
Not saying
spoilers,
that.
but
Yeah.
it's strange that Henok and I were talking about a character that we haven't seen for a while.
For at least 2 seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then suddenly they rock up, and we had no idea. It's like, how strange is that?
Yeah.
But it's, again, just awesome TV.
Yeah.
Awesome TV. But this whole season has been about the psychological part, the human part.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Without spoiling, I think we were saying that the final episode was good because it was sort of an anticlimax, because in the lead up to it, you just had major event after major event after major, and shocking things happening, at least for the 3 episodes beforehand.
Yeah.
And then you were expecting something, but it didn't quite happen, but yet it still makes you think, I can't wait to watch next season.
Has it been renewed for another season as well?
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
And
Did
that's
you hear
only got
that?
a certain amount of source material, so that will run out and it will come to a natural.
Well, they're doing a Walking Dead spin-off.
spin-off,
Really?
A spin-off.
which is going to be based in LA or something like that. So it's going to be a separate story based in the same universe.
Oh, brilliant. That'd be good.
So more to come.
Which kind of and the thing. So I've been watching a lot of these things through catch up and on demand. So Netflix and I kind of go through the Virgin Media because I've switched from Sky, and that kind of takes us into what we're going to talk about in part two, right? So in part 2 we're going to be talking about streaming services, so streaming video, so movies and TV. We're talking about that. So join us in part 2. We'll be talking about that.